Okay. Courtney is not able to join right now, so we will move on to communications. I don't think anybody has an update from him.
Yeah, that sounds great. Hi, so for communications, I'm Allison McKinley. For those who don't know me, I'm going to be filling in for Colin tonight because he is coming back from vacation. So we wish him safe travels back. I've only got a couple of things to share as far as what him and I have been working on communications wise. The mid-season surveys are starting to go out. I know that those are later than mid-season. We're a month past when we probably should have sent them. Our apologies on that. It's totally us. Nothing else we can blame that on. But we're going to try to get them out within the next, like, one dropped today. One is going to drop next week. So then that way we will be able to get your feedback and at least get it like out through the rest of the season. The first round of surveys that came out was partnerships, community and communications, and then I'll drop the rest next week. Were there any like questions or concerns about the mid-season survey? Everybody feels okay with those other than the delay? Okay, great. The Nordecke goes green. This isn't necessarily like a communications thing. It's more of a Colin thing. He's been spearheading this initiative to work with local community partners, CODA, Yay Bikes, and Franklinton Cycle Works to try to engage the Nordecke in a like alternate transportation tailgate situation. So instead of everybody driving, it's more of like a educational event designed to help people learn about the alternate ways that they could get to the stadium. With the Coda levy just passing, like how do we include them in that partnership? They're planning on having tents set up for each of our different community partners there, where they're going to get to talk to Nordecke members and crew fans alike about what they do, what are different things that you can activate within the community if you're looking for alternate transportation. Some people don't even know how to access a bus pass. They don't know the bike routes. So this is really just a way for us to reach out to the community partners and really engage them with crew fandom. So that has been given the go. Like everybody is involved. That needs to be with FO at this point, I believe. If I say that wrong and it comes back on me, oops. But I think all the partners are involved. And right now we're working kind of on final stages for them to get set up in tents somewhere, either inside the plaza or along the outside to have their like activation stations. We're working on merch that would be like Nordecke exclusive merch and also giveaways that the tents could give out. They're looking at like reflective stickers that are like crew and Nordecke themed, which I think is cool. But yeah, it's just a nice initiative. It'll be for the July 25th game, a Friday night game. Like take your family and walk to the game if you can. Maybe you don't know you can. So again, that's kind of what the initiative is based around. And we did approve a motion for $1,500 for that. That'll just go toward helping to get all of the merchandise that we need, helping our partners get the reflective stickers that they need, engaging, all those kinds of things. So that is the update there. Any questions about Nordecke Goes Green? Sweet. Okay, that is all that I have for communications. I know that Emily is on the meeting, but she asked me just to be able to speak because I am very loud. So she was worried that you might not hear her on the Zoom call. So even though she is there, pretend it is me talking through her, and you're really looking at beautiful Emily. She wanted to give a huge thank you to everyone who came out and represented the community at the Pride March. It was a huge success. I loved posting all the pictures on social media. On a side note, I've also loved seeing all the trolls on all the Pride things. It's been fun to just watch them like eat themselves alive. Pride Raiser is still open until July 14th. So if you had your donation like put in, you can still adjust it at this point. If you wanted to put in more, there's still also like one game left to add the donation as well. Currently, we're sitting at $3,626. That's currently raised, so 518 per goal. So if you are able to donate, it's really appreciated. It goes to Kaleidoscope. So just kind of keep in mind too, you can adjust your pledges. So if you are in a season of abundance and you feel like you can give more, that's amazing. If you're good with where you're at, that's also amazing too. So thank you all for that. Saturday morning, there are 7 members who will be participating in the Dash for Donations 5K, which benefits the Lifeline of Ohio. There is still time to sign up or donate if you'd like to go. The registration is on social media. It was in the email today. And it is also on the website and the Sign Up Genius. So lots of ways to get there. There was 2 new signups yesterday. For the email blast. Hey, you're welcome. No, I'm kidding. But there's still time to sign up for that. And I think that is everything for community. Emily, did I do it justice? I hope. She's silent. Oh no, I'm just kidding.
Yes, thank you so much. You're wonderful. Amazing. We couldn't do this without you. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Next is creative, Brent.
All right. Yeah, so we had the Pride Tifo that went off. If you saw pictures, obviously there were some hiccups that we're assuming was due to the rain, making the Tifo stick to itself a little bit. But overall, that project was still it was a blast, and I think it turned out really well despite that. So thank you to everybody who came out and gave their time to get that thing over the line.
By the way, the reviews of like across the league were phenomenal. Like these were very well received.
It's also like our highest engaged post on Instagram. Like this season, the Christian post, like the Christian thank you post, I think was sitting around like 900 some likes. This is like at almost 1400, I want to say. So it's getting a ton of engagement as well. So the community really also appreciated it too.
Awesome. Yeah, so we're gonna look to get started with the next TIFO, which will be the 30th anniversary game, and we're gonna go right along with that theme. Don't care about the 30th anniversary of the league, so we're gonna focus on the 30th anniversary of the team since we were the first team.
We can do a Don Garber appreciation post.
We could.
Can it just be
If
him
there's-
coming out of a trash can like Oscar the Grouch?
Or him in a wave and there's a shark fin right there.
We could have that famous Game of Thrones gift, walking through the streets and just.
Yeah, so everything is coming together for that. Have the artwork, got the fabric in the other day. So everything should be ready to go for us to get started. We're gonna start on that on July 21st will be the first day of work for that. And it'll be a busy schedule because it is gonna be another 3-panel display like Hell is Real. It will not be like 3 panels sewn into one, so it'll be a little easier to manage in that regard. But it's still gonna be a lot of work. So need a lot of hands, especially since we are also navigating 3 different weekday games, 4 different weekday games.
Depending on, depending on league stuff.
Yeah,
Right.
so potential for 4 different weekday games in that time frame before that display would need to go up. So there's a lot of stuff that we have to work around to get this one over the line, but we'll be able to do it. So yeah, like I said, got the artwork back, and it's gonna be, I think it's gonna be pretty cool. And then what was the other thing that I wanted to talk about? Oh, we do finally have budget information from the FO for a new TIFO space. Not going to share the number publicly. I will say it's probably not going to be sufficient to get the amount of space that we need. So we'll either not have our own dedicated space, suffer through the current space that we're in, or have to think about supplementing with our own budget. Like there are some things that we're gonna have to think through and figure out how to do that. So
Are there
But-
state unclaimed funds that we could use?
It would be nice. We can certainly look into that, but yeah, we're gonna have to be creative and look at some different options there as far as a new TPO space is concerned. So, but we have the information now, which is loads better than where we were.
Game day?
As Paco,
Sorry, I was trying to get my audio off. On, sorry. Yeah, so what I just wanted to continue those thank yous for everybody too. So, I just wanted to thank again and just really commend Brentwood for that TIFO. It was probably by far one of my favorite things I've ever seen at the stadium, and it just looked fabulous. So thank you for everybody who did come out and help with that. Thanks, and to kind of continue that, thank you for everybody that came out and helped kind of grommet and create new pride banners and get those up. I think the stadium looked really great, so really appreciate all the hard work that everybody did to do that. We obviously we have tons of games kind of coming up right now, and it's going to be kind of a weird kind of schedule. We have an away game next Wednesday, and then I think it's I think it's a Saturday, Friday, Tuesday, Friday, Tuesday possible home schedule for the next 5 or 6 games. So we definitely could use help to kind of get those banners out. I know it is difficult to do that on the weekdays. I would love for the stadium to look great for all of the out-of-towners that are coming into town to come check out, this Leagues Cup. I'd love for the stadium to look its best. There are a couple of options that we can do. If we can get some people to volunteer some of their time to be able to come out on match days, we can get those banners up. Weather dependent, maybe we can keep those banners up for those few days in between games. Just be kind of selective of which banners can survive that. I hate doing that because it really just puts all the artwork at risk. But listen, if you'd like to come out and help, please do so. No, you don't need any experience doing it. It's super welcoming and super easy. We'll walk you through it. It's a pretty cool experience. And it goes a long way. So I don't want to kind of step on Curtis any more than I'm probably going to, but I did kind of want to talk a little bit about we did have a call with Ty today in regards to Hell is Real. So there is some, we are going to start that march at Cobblestone. We'll probably start that. We'll probably start getting organized around 6. So we could probably get a step off about 6:15, 6:20. The biggest news kind of that came out of there is that the Cincinnati Fire Department does not want us to blow any smoke as part of that match. Apparently this has been a rule that forever existed. We just have never followed it. And I guess Ty was not aware of that. I'm not really sure how much we can enforce that. Obviously, our fans are gonna celebrate as they celebrate, and I'm sure Cincy's gonna blow a bunch of smoke also. But the punishment, if you do get caught, is a ban from the game. So they made it pretty clear we're going to be watched. There are, obviously it's a huge game for the league and it's a huge game for both clubs. So everybody's on their P's and Q's and are going to be watching folks. So if we can get that out there, we're not going to be blowing any smoke. If you do blow smoke during the parade, and you do get caught, that is possibly, you're possibly not going to be let into the stadium. As a sign of respect for us going over there, I know last year there was some issues with fans pulling down artwork that was in TQL on our way to our seats. I'm just asking everyone if they could not do that, please don't touch artwork that doesn't belong to you. I know we would hate that. But that was something that was brought up also today. So please don't touch artwork that doesn't belong to you. I am getting with, I know Brandon is going to possibly bring a drum. I'm not sure how many more drummers we're going to have. I'm working with LaGuardia right now to get the Columbus banner so we could have that banner. I know Curtis and I are bringing our megaphones. There is a closet we will be able to get into to be able to kind of store stuff. And then the bus will be parked close by to the stadium. So there are a couple of options to store some of our equipment that is brought up there. But main thing is, just go out, have fun, make sure we're hydrated. It's going to be a hot day. But we'll start getting organized around 6, and we'll probably step off about 6:15, 6:20. And it's a pretty easy route. It's straight down the road, and then it's a right, and then we'll be right in front of the stadium. We'll stop right before the front gates, and then they'll let us in. After the match, there is a 15-minute wait period for everybody that is in that supporter section. If you want to leave early, you have to get out of there by the 80th minute, or else you're waiting. So clear bags, smoke free, vape free section. So it's an assigned seats. So please abide by all that. But let's be loud. Let's cheer our boys on. Let's get these chants going. And like I said, thank you everybody that's been helping and making the experience at LEC is it's been pretty great lately. So I appreciate you guys. That's it for me.
Trent, do you have any updates?
The only thing I really have is we've had some fun tailgates lately. The bald tailgate was a lot of fun. It was fun seeing everyone in their neat shirts. Thank you to the capos and drummers for really spearheading that, and it was cool to see that on match day. All tickets for Hell is Real have been sent. So we're all going to be very busy on Saturday. So if you could try to go ahead and get those in your SeatGeek account, that would be helpful to us. So we aren't trying to do last minute retransfers on Saturday. That's all I have.
Okay. Next up is merchandise. Brad was not able to be in the meeting, so we have a couple of updates for him.
Yeah, he wanted to share a couple quick things about Kids Club. Brad had started this initiative. I think last year he said he had kind of thought of the idea and was really trying to like rally a team around getting a Kids Club launched. Was working with Supporter Supply to make some amazing Kids Club merch. I heard that is like in the final work, so he's putting some final touches on what that Kids Club is going to look like as far as launching goes. And it should be launching soon. Just like you said, a couple final touches and it should be ready to go. I think it's a really awesome initiative. I've seen the merch myself. It's really cool. I happened to see it when I was there one day picking up other stuff and I was like, what's in this box? And that's how it always goes. I just get my nose where it doesn't need to go all the time. But the Kids Club merch is really cool. So look for that to be launching soon. We'll put out comms with it whenever, I'm assuming we got to get through Hell is Real for that before we'll get that out. And also he is working on some new merch for the fall that is different and unique. Left us on a cliffhanger with what that is to get us anticipating what that new merch might look like. So new stuff coming in the fall. And that is his major update.
All right, next up is Robbie with partnerships.
Yep, so just a couple things. First, we have Nordecke Town Hall on Tuesday, the 15th, from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the lower level event space. So we will be there. If the weather is warm enough, we probably will not be in that space. We'll probably move it outside to the patio, but we have that event space. for us in case of the rains or whatnot. So Nordecke Town Hall on the 15th, on the 15th of July, so that's Tuesday next week. There's two other items on that are not part of the agenda that I wanted to share with the group. Second thing is I am working with Scott Horseman and Emily on Nordecke Takes Over Franklinton. This is an event for the August 9th away watch party that's going to be held at Land Grant. Scott Horseman had the opportunity to talk to Sweeties, which is pretty close to Land Grant. And they have partnered up with Modelo to want to create this massive away watch party event where it will kind of be a shared event, but really the away watch party will be at Land Grant, and they're bringing food trucks. And in addition to that, what we'd like to do is bring a lot of our community partners and raise awareness for our community partners. So Emily has reached out to a couple of them. Chris, I think Chris is one of them. I have Food Bank, even some new ones like the Columbus Fashion Group or organization. I can't even remember off the top of my head, but there's been a couple of different ones that she's reached out to, so we're waiting to hear back from them. And then in addition to that, I've also will be reaching out to Support Supply, and then also I want to talk to Brad about whether we can have our own table there so we could sell a lot of our merchandise as well. So we want to make this a huge event, a day-long event, actually, from 12 p.m. tentatively to the time that the game is over. So it all leads up to the away watch party. So that is something that we are in the works of doing, and I want to thank Scott and Emily so much for all their help with that. So that's the second thing. The third thing is a few weeks ago, I was in touch with one of our members, Paul Kacharian. He actually has his own strategic consulting company, and he's based out of Hudson, Ohio, which is just north of Akron. And one of the things that we talked about, not just with me, but also with Courtney as well, is understanding a little more about the mission and the vision and the core values of Nordecke. And as we start to think about the way Nordecke is structured today, previously it was always that each role was a one-year term. Now with the new bylaws, it's now, I think there are going to be some roles that are going to be 2 years term, but it's going to overlap a little bit so we can at least have some continuity. So this gives us an opportunity for us to, develop our mission, vision, and core values, but then also for us to understand a little bit more about why so many of our members are members of Nordecke, and what can we do to create more value, not just to retain a lot of our membership, but also to expand our membership. Because obviously a lot of our membership is really I think the success and the number of members that we have really does hinge a lot on the team, but it can also allow us opportunities to see what more we can do and what areas that we can explore and add value to. So Paul provided with me a couple different options and estimates of what he can do. The first is really the definition of the mission, vision, and core values, and that would be at zero cost. So he's doing that at zero cost for us, and that would be a 2 to 3 week project. And then the second and the third would be a member survey project that we could do to ask a number of our members, and maybe even look at some of our data to kind of understand really why are some of our members really members of our Nordecke, and what is the value that they see from us. And that that proposal is about is a total of $3,000. And then the other one will be kind of more of a benchmark survey when people look at other data points from other supporter groups across the league, and that will be a little bit more of a higher cost, but it really just builds upon the second one, which is the second survey or the second project. And that would be a total of $8,000. So not saying that we have to do all three at once. We can just start off with one, see how that goes, and then at a later point, something to kind of think about if that's something that we want to pursue, we can engage with him, understand a little more about what the second project would entail and getting some more detail. And he provided that information to me that I can share with the board. A little bit later on, but just wanted to at least let you know, let you all know as to what we've discussed. So my thought is, since the first project is really kind of more him doing something for us and helping us define our mission, vision, and core values, I'd love for us to go ahead and do that, especially since it's at zero cost. And that would just be a 2 to 3 week project where he interviews and he interviews each board members and some members of some as well. So that's what I would like to do as part of that, and then we can discuss the other projects that are. So since it's the first project, I can wait until later to make a motion, but since we are missing a couple members, so I can take that to slide and share the information. Actually, before I introduce the motion, I want to first share all the documentation and then bring it up to motion.
Cool.
Yes.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Yeah.
I'm doing like something similar to this with student success stores right now, where like they're transitioning into getting an executive director. And it's like they're looking for a consultant to come in and like help to build up like how to take it to that next level. And like it's basically like hiring a person that will help take you from 900 members to like 9,000. Like, not saying that that's what it's going to do, but like that's the idea behind what this consultant role is. So like I see the value in it because I see another nonprofit who is like questioning, do we need this? If we do, how much are we willing to spend within our budget for this? Like,
yeah.
So it's definitely a conversation that a lot of people are having of like, how can we grow this? Because funding is getting to a point where it like we're in a scarcity of funding. We're all competing for the same money and everybody's money is now way more important. So how do we show that our giving us your money is going to give you XYZ bang for your buck? So I totally see where it's coming from.
Yeah. I'll share all the documentation with us to everyone on the slide for review.
Okay. Next is Curtis with travel.
It won't be a lot. So Seattle went last week, no issues at all. I think we said around 40 or so folks. Everything seemed to go well with that, other than the end of the game, but that didn't involve any of our supporters. And Nashville is next week. I believe it might be a record number of fans for a midweek game. I think we have about 35, so give or take, which for Wednesday is impressive. So so we'll take that.
Nashville in the summer, like definitely lucked out with that.
Yeah, I mean, if it was a Saturday game, we'd have double that, if not more.
Yeah.
But it's it's too bad. But next year, hopefully it's as Paco mentioned, this Saturday I guess we have a game. So it's going to be interesting. I think we sent an email out to all the supporters, everyone who bought tickets in the supporter section, everyone should receive that. Thank Allison helping to draft that. Thank you for Brad for catching the typo that both Allison and I missed. Is the game apparently will be in Southwest Ohio, not Southeast Ohio, probably despite what my email said. But no, I think everything's good. Paco covered all the major points. Cobblestone's all good to go. We will have plenty of Ohio beer there, or Central Ohio beer on tap. I've been in regular communication. Robbie's helped with this, with the Cobblestone owners. He's been great. So he confirmed this week they'll have both porta johns, which I think 2 years ago they didn't have they didn't have any, and the lines in the bathrooms got pretty bad. So last year there were portable toilets and didn't have any issues with lines. So we're gonna have those again. We'll have a food truck on site, so that will help. Hopefully folks will hopefully soak up some of the beer in their stomach with some. I think it's a pizza food truck. So all of that should be good to go. Tickets have been distributed, so I think everything's good for that. Once we're past that game, I'll turn my attention to August. Literally earlier today, I set up a meeting with Crew York to start planning for the NYC game. There's also Toronto and what else is in August, but it's coming. I think maybe Atlanta is the end of the month. That might be Red Bull. Red Bull, that's right. But Red Bull, unfortunately, is the same day as Ohio State, Texas. So I think that's when they kind of hurt interest. We'll definitely sell some folks. So I'll start working on those and finish with my Publish Real. So that's all good. The one thing I did want to bring up in this audience, and this is really just kind of going directly, is we've had a lot of conversations on here, on Slack, on other social media about buses, and I know there's a significant contingency of our supporter group that like having buses provided to games. The issue that we're facing is it's a significant cost guarantee that Nordecke has to make in order to get those buses. You know, we basically have to commit to the price for the bus, and that's regardless of whether we have one person or the whole 55 on it. And in the past, we've really struggled to fill those buses with various games. I've talked about this a fair amount. And then Cincinnati obviously is this weekend. We have a bus for this weekend. We did reach our threshold to break even on the bus, but I think we've only sold about 30, I believe, last I checked, spots. So I'm at this point not planning on providing busing for any additional games this year for the regular season. I'm just not seeing the demand in terms of our population. If there's a playoff game, I'm definitely willing to, that's driving distance, I'm definitely willing to revisit that. You know, if we're playing in Cincy, or not likely Chicago would be hosting a playoff game, but if we were playing in Chicago or something like that, I'm definitely, Nashville would be a good option. Yeah, we're playing in Nashville. So if we wind up playing any away games that are driving distance, I'm definitely willing to explore buses for those. But at this point, just based on the lack of demand, I'm not planning on providing busing for any more games. We will continue to provide, obviously, the tickets. I'm focusing most of my attention on pre-game experiences, you know, providing an opportunity for our fans to gather where appropriate. We'll do that with the other team supporting group. Some fan bases like Toronto and Chicago, Cincy, that probably would be a good idea, so we can do our own thing. But we'll be organizing all of that. And then also where appropriate, we can organize hotel walks. Those do not require any financial commitment from Nordecke, so they're easy to set up. So we'll continue to provide that stuff, but the buses are most likely not going to be provided for any more regular season games this year.
And just to provide context from Bud's talk too, I know that you talked to, there's periods where we do surveys and get preliminary idea of interest in the wage rates. And the interest level on surveys compared to the interest level of people actually purchasing those things, there's a lot of both. And so if we're purchasing it based on the interest level in the beginning of the season survey or something, then we fall way below the threshold, the organization is a lot worse.
And it's a significant cost. I mean, the bus to Cincinnati is running us around, including tip, probably around $2,500. And that's obviously the cheapest it would ever be, because that's a same day round trip bus. It gets basically that's the per day cost, more or less. So if we have a 2-day trip to Nashville, we'll double that, or not quite double, but you know, more than that number. So yeah, so it's a significant financial contribution to the group, and Nordecke is on the hook for you know, if we sign up for a bus and don't fill it, we have to pay for the spot. And again, for Cincinnati, we did reach our threshold to break even. So we're not going to hurt the financials of the organization for this one, but I just don't want to put us behind them.
No, in the past, we have used smaller options, 15-passenger vans and even some smaller buses. Is that anything that we've?
The issue is around 60 to 70% of the cost of the bus is the driver.
Right.
So whether you have a 55-person bus or a 20-person bus, you're paying the same rate for the driver. It is a little cheaper for the bus. You are right about that. I think like Charlotte, we did that last year, but that was really just an issue of we'd already committed to having a bus. And we took a loss on that, but it was a smaller loss than we would have taken with a 55-passenger bus. It just doesn't obviously save us all that much money to do a smaller bus, because got a driver in the way.
I know, like, with the van option, you're providing your own driver, so.
I'm definitely want to explore that. And one of the things I thought, I'm sorry.
No, you're good.
One of the things I thought about, and this is probably going to be a either next year initiative, or I'm still looking for a deputy if anybody would like to volunteer, and we can look into this sooner, is providing some sort of carpooling sign-up option to say like, hey, I'm heading to the Chicago game. I'm planning on driving with one other person in my car, so the back seat's empty. Does anybody want to pitch in gas and ride with us, you know, gas money and ride with us? we could develop some sort of Google Doc sign up or, whatever. I'm definitely willing to explore that option. It just requires some additional work, and honestly, I'm an army of one, so it's a bit much. So if anybody would like to volunteer to be a deputy, we could move on that really quick. But the bus, or the van option could be even an expanded version of that. Of hey, we have 10 people or whatever number we want to share a ride, and we rent a bus or rent a passenger van or drive as a group. It's definitely an option that I'm willing to explore if there's enough demand, or we can just facilitate folks doing it on their own and just say, hey, we'll help put you in touch with a group of people who want to share a bus, and then you can collectively call enterprise or whatever.
Anything else on the travel?
That's it.
Next is gonna be new business and the Cleveland post-match survey update.
Yeah, so I know that like most people in the meeting here have already seen the results, so I did make a printed copy for people who had not seen the results to be able to kind of go through. Feel free also, if you're online, Bethany put the document in the Zoom call, and then what I'm gonna do is I think I'll post my PDF into the general Slack tonight after the meeting is done, so then that way it is transparent to all of the Nordecke members who are in there. And then possibly work with Brian to get those updated to the website. I don't know if it'll be like tonight, but they'll get updated there at some point. We put out this survey because when the match happened, we we're all either there or we were home watching, and pretty much like as soon as the match started, there had been some rumblings on social media. I know I was really clued in with the Nordecke social media. A lot of other people on Reddit had seen some concerns that people had posted about some very specific things like parking, some of like the food voucher issues. I know there was a huge concern about people being in the Nordecke section that were wearing pink, not yellow. So, we had heard some rumblings about people who had wanted to express like some frustrations or some things that were wrong during the Cleveland game. But when we talked with the front office, we as in Nordecke, I was not there, but just speaking through that, and feel free, anybody who was on the call, to jump in. They had said that the survey did not go out to all season ticket members because they did not believe at the time that it was like they needed that feedback. They wanted feedback from people who weren't season ticket members, which we felt like really left out a large portion of people who didn't get the opportunity to give the feedback that they wanted. So the reason that we built the survey and kind of chose the specific questions that we did was because we were taking it based on feedback that we had seen being put out in the public, things that we had heard, things that people had told us. And we also threw out some other questions just to kind of get an overall gauge of how people were feeling post-match. There were a lot of highlights on the survey data. A good number of Nordecke members filled out the survey. So it was kind of like, I think it was like 200 to 300-ish around just people who were like, I don't know what the Nordecke is, versus yes, I'm a season ticket member and I'm a Nordecke member. A majority of the results were filled out by people who did attend the match and are season ticket members. So it's not just a bunch of people at home being like, no, these were people who actually were there. Most of the people felt that their seats were comparable to where they were at lower.com. People said that they were able to access their food vouchers. They felt like their reps were appropriately communicating with them about the game. They didn't have issues with people in the Nordecke, or they gave no response to that question. And most people said that they didn't have an issue with parking. Now we know that that only, says about the survey results, but that's at least a nice highlight that the people who did fill it out didn't have is the same kinds of issues overwhelmingly like what we might have seen on social media when the game was happening. Kind of it helps a good reminder of like sometimes social media isn't like the everything that we're seeing. So definitely highlights with that survey there. Some of the lowlights, I don't know what else to call it. I was like the peaks and valleys. Some of the peaks, an overwhelming majority of the survey takers said that they would not attend another away match. I know we say it's a home match, but thinking of, a home away match, an overwhelming majority of the survey takers said that they would not. Another thing that Colin, I know, had mentioned in the leadership Slack was that a majority of the people traveled 2 to 3 hours to get to the game. which means that most of the people were coming from Columbus or further, not from Cleveland, which was originally one of the things that they had said to grow the Cleveland fan base. But a majority of people who went came from further. Most people that responded to the opt-out question either said yes or maybe. And then no or no response was the majority of the question of did the Nordecke provide a home field experience? Which that was what we were going for. We didn't want it necessarily that we had talked at the last game to feel like a home field experience because we were hoping that they would see that we can't provide the home field experience anyplace other than in Columbus. This is our home. This is where we're meant to be. So those were some of the peaks and valleys from the survey. Again, it was really just for us to be able to have a space where people could give feedback that we had seen from other avenues, and to give us, a set of results that we could share with you guys as well. So that was kind of the idea behind the survey and the results.
It's also worth mentioning with the survey, we did partner with, we did not want to make this Nordecke exclusive. So we reached out to the fan council, which is, I guess, in some ways meant to be like a non-Nordecke version of the Nordecke leadership team. Or, the representation for the other 17,000 folks in the stadium. And they partnered with us on this. So they reviewed the survey before it went out. They provided some edits which we incorporated. They provided with all the results. So they were a part. This was not a Nordecke exclusive thing. This was a Nordecke and fan council. Okay, yeah.
Okay. Anything else about the Cleveland survey? Good to go. Okay. As far as Leagues Cup tickets purchase goes, I can speak about this, or if anybody else would like to. I know I talk a lot, so I'm happy to take a break. But the Leagues Cup, we did as a board decide that we did not want to purchase the full amount of tickets that we were going to get for Leagues Cup, as far as if we would buy any additional for the Tuesday matches that are happening. The ones that are included in the season ticket package for the Friday game, August 1st, we did purchase those, and those will be the 203 tickets like we normally would, but we will not have tickets available for the Tuesday matches. Part of that decision was made because we're not making money on ticket sales as it stands now, and games are not selling out the way that they have in the past. So rather than, take a huge loss on Tuesday tickets, we made the decision that it was for the best. If we progress, we can change that, I guess, and revisit it. But we think for the first round, it made the most sense.
Yeah, I think that the one thing I would just add to that is that I think for a few, as we progress into the next round, we will have those conversations with the front office about tickets. So it's only just as Allison mentioned, it's only this week.
Yeah. I will put that out with Colin on social media to make sure that people feel like they have ample time to get different tickets, find a different avenue for that. Because if you are relying on the Nordecke for those Tuesday games, we will not have them. So I will make sure that Colin and I put something out on socials so that people have plenty of time to plan. Either tomorrow, I'm kind of worried about it getting buried with everybody preparing for Hell is Real. So I'm probably going to post it on Monday next week, just so it's fresh in everybody's mind. And I feel like that still gives people enough time to plan.
One thing I would want to point out about that, one of the reasons, one of the main driving reasons that Nordecke purchases and resells tickets is to ensure access to tickets for people that can't do season ticket memberships. And this year, we really haven't seen that there's been an issue with that. The secondary market has been very weak and people are able to access those tickets for even cheaper than we can sell them. Which the other thing to go with that is understanding that we actually don't make a ton of money on the tickets, even when we do sell them. We've got a very small markup just to cover some fees and put a little bit of money back into the organization, but it's not a ton. So that main driving factor is ensuring access, and we determined that we really don't need to purchase tickets to these League Cup matches to ensure that non-season ticket members will be able to access those games. there will be plenty of opportunities from both the front office and resale market from season ticket members looking to offload their tickets, that there will be access for everybody.
To
And-
build on that as well, but one of the deciding factors too is, the team's been having trouble getting people in the door. And so they're selling their tickets with food and drinks. And we can't really do that. So that was another deciding factor for Leagues Cup tickets, is we don't know what kind of promos they're going to run in order to sell their tickets.
And the other part is because it's still an opt-out system rather than an opt-in system. There's a strong possibility the secondary market will be very robust for Tuesday night games. So the risk to the organization of taking a big bunch of tickets and then losing, only selling 20-30% of them was there. And so it just is likely that there's going to be an abundant amounts of tickets on the secondary market.
And anybody else have anything else to discuss about the Leagues Cup tickets? Do we have anything that anyone would like to bring up in an open forum?
I did. Hello. So in the last meeting, I asked about hanging banners in the Nordecke Route 2, and no one said that we would ask the front office if that would be possible. Is there any update on it?
I believe that conversation took place, but I think it was 4 meeting we had that.
I don't remember who brought it. It did get brought up in our call. Yeah, basically, the answer is the one that we get most of the time when we ask them things is, we'll look into that and let you know. So we need to follow up with Ty and see if there's been any movement on that, but
We're meeting with our next conversation will be on Thursday, so if you don't want to bring it up.
We're like 2/3 of the way through the Route 2 season. We've not been letting them at all.
when is there a home game?
Between now.
The next home game is the 27th.
Okay, so Thursday is sufficient. At least bring that up.
I mean, it also doesn't have to be the Nordecke, but it's like adjacent sections.
Hey, Nick, is today a special day by chance?
It's Kathy Appreciation.
It's Kathy Appreciation Day!
I don't know if you saw the social media post of the players drawing the happy behind.
Oh, I didn't see that.
You can check that out. It's fun.
It's very right?
You had another issue you want to see about. You want to raise that? Which one?
Remind me.
Last home game, or at least I know there was some push about it. Last home game for the Cappies, access to water is as much of an issue for Cappy games as it is for Bruin games.
I mean, it's same policy as the crew game, and then the water fountains are there's only like one water fountain that's way at the front of the. Simple bathroom, only one set of bathrooms is way at the front, but it's hike to get there from the ceiling.
Anything else that anybody needed to bring up? No?
Anyone else?
Nope. I mean, there are people on Zoom, but nobody's raising their hands or asking questions.
The Winnie Watch Party for Hell is Real, if you can't make it, will be at Seven Sun and also at Land Grant. So please go to one of the locations. Or you're not going to Cincinnati.
And also at Cobblestone, if anyone is going to Cincinnati and does not have tickets to the game, Cobblestone does have SPAS and will be showing the game.
Awesome. Okay. I think we are adjourned.
Thank you for your time, everyone.
Bye, Paco. Thanks, everybody.
I know.